Hey guys, we're back today for day 37, and we're talking about contending for your children. And we're talking about, fighting for the unborn, protecting those who are fatherless, fighting for those that have no voice, giving value to those people who feel like they have no value. God has so much in His heart towards children, and today's culture just completely minimizes and devalues and communicates that children are a burden, that children are expensive, that children are not valuable. And the Bible says that children are a blessing, and Jesus delighted in children when they came to Him. And so, and He takes so much pleasure in kids and children, and there's just so many examples in the Bible of where Jesus delighted in the children coming, and references to us as God's children, and just the family aspect. And we're just gonna talk for a minute here on just I love today's content, and I have 4 boys of my own, 4 kids that I'm fighting for. We live in a culture that if I'm not fighting for them, as their father, the world is not going to fight for them. The world is not going to make a place for them. The world's going to tell them that they need to be a certain way, that they have no value, that they're just kids, and what can they contribute, and that just the family structure is not important. And so I want to just ask those questions. Maybe you've never thought about it. Maybe you're 15 and you don't have kids, and maybe your childhood was a tough childhood. But I want to just encourage you and challenge you that our role and our job as men and future men, young men, is to actually fight for the next generation and to call identity out of them, to call destiny out of them, to say, this is who you are, you're valuable. You're valuable to me, you're valuable to other people, you're valuable to God. And so that's our job, both in the natural and in the spirit, with our natural family, and with people that we can actually be spiritual fathers over. And if you're 15 or if you're 18 or 20, it's the kids underneath you, it's the kids that look up to you, that you can actually be a spiritual father to. And you can call them to a higher place and call that value and that worth out of them. And even in the days ahead, if you've never thought about abortion, or if you've just it's not on your radar, it's our job as men to actually fight and not stand for that, and not allow that in our midst. And so we need to be men who have a voice and say, no, this is not okay with me. This is what the Bible says. This is what God says about children. And so I just want to, kind of throw out those thoughts and just encourage you to evaluate your own thoughts, your own, what do you think about when you think about kids, and what do you think about, when you one day may have kids, and how can you start to prepare, and how can you start to plan for that now? And if you have kids right now, how can you further get God's heart for your children? How can you continue to call out the destiny and the life and the calling that God has for their lives? And so just think about that. There's some great questions in the journal today, so check that out, and just spend some time talking to the Lord about it. So bless you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.